A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. India's textile and cotton sector stands at a critical juncture with the recent GST rationalization, which has reshaped cost structures, particularly for man-made fibers, with implications for competitiveness across the cotton MMS divide. Now, recently the government, under its latest GST reforms, made several adjustments to simplify rates and reduce the tax burden, including for apparel and textiles. Now, under GST 2.0, the previous 18% GST on man-made fibers has been reduced to 5%, and on man-made yarns from 12% to 5%. That apart, garments up to rupees 2,500 will now be taxed at 5% against the previous 12%. However, premium and higher priced apparels have been slapped with a higher 18% GST, while that on carpet and textile floor coverings has been reduced to 5% from the previous 12%. As the harvest season begins, supply chain dynamics, stock patterns, and trade flows are shifting, influencing cotton prices and market sentiment. At the same time, export competitiveness is being tested by global demand uncertainty, shifting trade alignments, and rising input risks. Today, BigMint has thus organized this webinar on India's textile industry, GST impact, and harvest season outlook. This webinar is bringing together industry experts to decode the policy and market landscape, assess near-term price and trade outlooks, and explore how India's textile sector can position itself in an increasingly volatile global environment. I am Madhumita, Consultant Director, BigMint, your host for this webinar. BigMint is, of course, India's leading market intelligence and price reporting agency, spanning ferrous, non-ferrous, and the agriculture commodity segment. And co-moderating this webinar with me is Abhishek Govilkar, Head Agribusiness at BigMint. Abhishek, over to you.
Hi, Namaskar. Good afternoon, and thank you, Madhumita Madam, for a nice introduction and setting the context for this particular webinar. First of all, I would like to welcome our esteemed panelists. I will start with Chandrima Ma'am. So Chandrima Madam is in this domain of cotton textile industry for almost more than 25 years, and has worked in the domain of research, policy, advocacy, as well as for the trade felicitations. Besides working on trade felicitation and competitive trade issues in the textile value chain, she has also been associated with skilling, sustainability, and responsible business initiative in the cotton as well as in the textile domain. She has worked in domestic as well as export sector and has dealt with issues of entire textile value chain through her earlier stint with APEC, CITI, as well as national bodies like ASSOCHAM. I welcome her in this particular webinar, and her inputs will be very critical in order to help us understand the dynamics that is going to shape up the textile sector. Over to you, Madhumita.
Thank you, Abhishek. I now introduce our second esteemed panelist for this afternoon, Mr. Atul Ganatra. Mr. Ganatra is the president of the Cotton Association of India, a post he has been holding since 2017. He is also the chairman and managing director of the Radhalakshmi Group of Companies. Apart from trading in cotton, his companies are involved in power generation and real estate. Mr. Ganatra has extensive experience of over 40 years in the cotton trade, and we look forward to hearing from him. So welcome to the webinar, Mr. Ganatra.
Thank you.
Before we start the Q&A, I want to remind the viewers to send in their queries and get it answered by a panel of experts. So viewers do send in your queries. And now let us begin with the Q&A right away because there is so much to discuss. As I said, that we are at a very critical juncture and so many factors are converging. Global and domestic factors are converging, which are influencing the way the sector is moving. So my first question is, so what is the larger picture behind the GST revisions in relation to textiles? And with the rationalization in GST slabs, particularly the reduction on man-made fibers and yarn, how do you see this impacting the cost competitiveness of India's textile industry against global peers like China, Bangladesh, and Vietnam, who we know are heavyweights in their own right in the textile space, global textile space? So, who would like to take this question?
Regarding, hello to everybody. Yes, this recent GST cut is definitely benefit to the entire textile industry, no doubt about that. It won't. We may see 5 to 7% shifting from this man-made fiber to cotton to man-made fiber. So experts of our industry, they say we may see within 1 year 5 to 7% shifting from cotton to man-made fiber. Even I was reading one article from the Birla Grasim. Grasim says viscose fiber consumption will increase by 5% in a year and 10 to 15% in 3 to 4 years. So definitely this GST cut will help to the man-made fiber. And if we see last 10 years record, our export in the cotton and cotton related garments has increased drastically. But if we see the growth in the export in man-made fiber clothes, it is other way. In 10 side, we are on the negative side. And there was two reasons for the negative export in last 10 years of man-made fibers. One is our fiber rates like polyester and viscose are much higher than China. So we are not able to compete China. And this due to this slab of GST was much higher, our growth was negative in last 10 years. I hope with this GST cut, growth will improve, export will improve. Even if the industry demand is there, we should get a fiber on international rate. Otherwise, we will not able to compete with the China for the man-made fiber. I hope that is also on the way and soon we will see something on that. Yes, please.
Ma'am, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, firstly, I think you would have seen that there was an unanimous welcoming of this move, not just by the man-made fiber segment people, but by everybody, because of course it had an impact on the overall consumption, not just for the tip of the pyramid, which is apparel and made-ups, where there was a reduction in a certain segment. Of course, for another segment, the higher value segment, there was an increase also from a 5% to 18% if you're looking at the bracket
That's
of
right.
1000 to 2500. But the bigger issue was that one, the overall consumption and demand for a good textiles and apparel is going to increase, is what everybody hopes, and more importantly a reduction in the prices of that, and an inversion in the duty which kicked in immediately after the GST and has long impacted the overall fiber consumption levels, preference, as also the product mix. See, India has been very strong in cotton, but if you look at the global demand trends, if not pure MMF but blends have is the segment where there is a lot of growth potential. If you're talking of higher value outerwear, winter wear, performance apparel, so some of the key segments where there is growth is where this fiber was a very critical component, and that's where a lot of business decisions of diversification was to some extent impacted, because obviously an inversion will always lead to a working capital blockage, which was happening. So, which is why the entire industry unanimously welcomed it, though various segments still face some amount of inversion, like the fiber segment. Their raw material is still at 18%. So to that extent, they have a problem. The man-made fiber raw material is still at 18%. Similarly, there is an inversion in the machinery segment, the capital goods segment. So we think that this is very good 10 steps that have been taken, but 5 more steps we are expecting in the days and years to come, and which I'm sure is in the overall game. In the sense, when we were talking to the department, there also they said, it has taken such a long time for coming down to two rates. So ideal situation, of course, will be one rate, when a lot of the other pending issues, be it inversion, be it reverse charge mechanism issues, will get addressed. So obviously that's where our final expectation is. But yes, as an interim, this has been a great boost for the textile sector, especially. And as you very correctly said, Madhumita ji, it's a very critical time when we are looking at all possible ways to improve our competitiveness. This will be an important step in that.
Right, very interesting. Okay, answers are very interesting. Now, I want to add one question to that. Mr. Ganatra said that last year exports, the MMS side exports were in the negative, and my question is that do you think the GST restructuring will finally help, bridge the imbalance between cotton and man-made fiber segments?
Yes, it was a long demand pending of the industry with the government, as Chandrima ji has told just now. So we are expecting some more relief, but definitely we were in negative from last 10 years, negative export of man-made fiber, and this relief is a not full relief. We, as he said, we need a lot of relief more to compete with the country like China, where the man-made fiber is, even as on today, 15 to 20 rupees a kg is the difference. And polyester rate is around 100 rupees a kg, viscose is around 140 rupees. In this rate, 20 rupees is a big amount to compete. But I compliment our industry, though our fiber rates are higher, and they are able to do the export and compete little with few countries like Bangladesh or China. So definitely things will improve, and after this tariff has been implemented by the USA government, we are lucky industry that government was not looking after this industry. Now at least we can say government has realized that there are 4.5 crore laborers jobs are given by the industry, so we should look after that. So we are thankful to the government, and things are looking to improve now from here onwards.
Right. Abhishek, would you like to take over?
Yeah, my follow-up question will be: do we envisage any change in the trade flows, particularly for the man-made fibers as well as the natural fibers which are available in the market? Because now this GST reconstitution has tilted the scale a little bit towards the man-made fiber. So just wanted to understand, will that there will be any impact on the trade flows pertaining to the cotton as well as from the textile industry point of view, and will there be any say shift in the overall stocking as well as inventory built up for cotton as well as the other textile products that we normally see in the value chain segment?
Yeah, Abhishek ji, I like to take this. Of course, the word we use for these things is greater diversification. So, one issue with the with the Indian trade, from trade point of view, has been that we have been limited to around 20-25 major categories of products which are largely cotton based or cotton rich for our major destinations, be it US, Europe, or some of the other countries that we give to. And we have been increasingly finding this gap between the international fiber mix and product mix and ours. So it's usually said that internationally it's 70-30, 70 towards man-made fiber and 30 towards cotton. And India, it's 65-45. So that was on the other side. It's 65 of cotton and the rest of it is man-made fiber. So this difference in the fiber mix for the whole value chain from yarn till garments and made-ups is where the correction was needed. Of course, we have had a few policies for this already. The PLI scheme was specifically targeted towards this, and now this GST rationalization, all we are hoping will look at this correction and hence a better diversification in critical areas. One is, of course, performance wear, winter wear, formal wears, also technical textiles, and that has been a focus for the last few years. In fact, there is on a mission mode, the sector is trying to increase its presence in the technical textile space and thus move. And the whole idea is that all these diversifications should also have a good implication on the value addition of the average value addition of the product basket that India is offering to the world, and hence we can have a more value driven growth of our exports.
Okay. And another question to Atulji would be, does he feel that this change in GST dynamics for man-made versus natural fibers is going to shift the demand from cotton to the man-made fibers? And will there be too much of a competition that he envisaged for the cotton farmers from the trade point of view?
Definitely, there will be a competition. As per the survey of the polyester manufacturer, viscose manufacturer, they say 5 to 7% our sales will increase this year alone. So definitely cotton consumption will reduce by 5 to 7%. At present, our consumption is around 310 lakh bales. Already tariff has hit consumption of cotton for 2-3 lakh bales in a month, which is 5% or 10% is almost reduced. And this GST cut spinning mills, like particularly I see Ludhiana based and South based mills who are not able to compete with the Gujarat spinning mills in the cotton, they may shift to PC and polyester, viscose. Also, there are two reasons in the why they want to shift. Not only GST cut will help, but those fibers are available at very lower price. 100 rupees a kg is a polyester, 140 rupees is a viscose. Compared to clean cotton is 205 rupees. So they need 50% finance to run maybe. Number two, if they run cotton, they need to keep at least 30 to 45 days stock to run cotton spinning mills. But in PC and PV, they have to hardly keep 1 week stock. It is available nearest go down. The manufacturers, they are making facility, it is available to them. So, and the sale of yarn also is very fast. And no question of making loss mainly. Last 2 months, cotton spinning mills are not making any profit and 80% industry is running on the loss. So I am seeing in South, definitely mills will, for smaller mills, less than 10,000 spindle mills are more in the South India, and they will definitely shift to these fibers from cotton to man-made fiber. And as Chandrima ji has told, we are other way than the world market. So, in world 70-30, 70 is man-made, 30 is cotton. We are other way. 30 is man-made and 70. But with this relief and some duty cuts, like now cotton, there is no duty up to December. like that, even if duty is removed in the near future on man-made fiber also, we may see our ratio of cotton 70% and PC may go within 3 to 4 years, we may go to 50-50%, which will be welcomed by the government also, because government wants certain area. On cotton we have very big area. We are cotton has been grown on 110 lakh hectare. So government want to reduce the area of the cotton cultivation. If spinning mills shift slowly to the man-made fiber, then government will not be having any worry of if the area is reduced, and they can do that reduction area. What area they will get, they can do the sowing of like food product or oil product, where we are heavily depend on the imports. So
But
I feel government will also like the spinning mill to shift from cotton to man-made. Yes, please.
Okay.
in
And
that case, Mr. Ganatra, uh, what kind of a spin-off is this going to have on the cotton trade, on India's cotton fiber and yarn pricing? How do you see, GST changes influencing raw cotton demand, given that cotton itself has not seen any direct rate change? So, what could be the overall spin-off on cotton?
Abhishek ji, can you repeat the question? I could not clearly.
actually, we want to understand what will be the spin-off effect of this change in dynamic that we are expecting on the cotton as well as yarn pricing.
See, cotton, definitely cotton demand will reduce. There is no doubt of that. But it will be not immediately we will see. Slowly it will see the impact. And already we are having a huge cotton stock this year. Accordingly to the Cotton Association of India, we are going to have 60 to 65 lakh bales cotton stock on 30th September 2025, which will be the highest after COVID year. COVID year, we got a bigger stock because spinning mills were closed for 6 months. But now there are two reasons for this much higher stock. Number one is this year we have received a higher import of 41 lakh bales. We are expecting will be imported. Shipment will arrive up to 30th September. That is the reason our stock is higher. Number two, our consumption also is slowly reducing because of the tariff and certain labor issue and all. So cotton consumption is also reducing and higher imports. So again, the problem is, as you asked me the question of the farmers, uh, the farmers are at least as on date, they are safe with the MSP, 8,100 rupees MSP. Farmers are safe, but we have to see how much CCI can buy the cotton on MSP. CCI has a limitation. Last year they bought 1/3 of crop, 1 crore bales on MSP. Now this year crop is also expecting 325, 330, 340 lakh bales. We don't know. And already CCI go down is having 35 to 40 lakh bale stock. That is 13 to 15 lakh bales are unsold and 25 lakh bales sold but not lifted. Bales are lying in the go down. So they will need finance also to do the MSP. Also space in the go down, because their policies, they don't keep the bales in the factories. They immediately shift to the go downs. So go downs are full. I don't know how they will do the MSP. So farmers are also worried. We have to wait and watch. We will get all this question answer in the month of November only.
Okay. Just a follow-up question on this, sir. With the new season, say harvesting approaching very fast, what is your overall assessment for the crop numbers as well as the quality of crop which is going to be there for the new season?
Yes, we had last 2 weeks back, we had All India Crop Committee. All 10 state association president, secretary, they have attended the meeting. This year, two things we have seen the change in the seed. This year, one Gujarat, 15 to 20 manufacturers are making one seed called 4G and 5G. And those seeds are giving much higher yield than BT seed. And also the outturn of that cotton is 38 to 40%, and yield of that seed is around 700 kg. So we believe that this type of this seed sowing is done more than 50% areas of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and South India. So all these associations are expecting much higher yield in coming year. So crop is conditions are excellent. This year, luckily, we had a rain in the first and second week of the June. So sowing is done 15 days early. And because of the early sowing, we are seeing today arrivals is surprisingly, we are on 24 September, but new crop arrivals are around 30,000 bales. So arrivals are also picking up. We are thinking that first week of October, our arrivals will come around 50,000 bales. And as far as cotton is conditions, there will be enough stock available for the spinning mills, and new crop also is looking at 325 to 340 lakh bales. Anyhow, it is little early to say. We will get the correct estimation on 15th October of the crop.
Okay. Noted, sir. And another question to Chandrima ma'am, do you think that this higher than expected crop as well as the carryover stock is going to have a significant bearing on the say price volatility of yarn as well as the domestic consumption of from the mills, textile mills point of view?
The last 1 year, the spinners have been having this huge price gap for all the fibers. Be it cotton also, where we have seen at least 15% higher prices in India than the ICE index, and of course MMF also. So there are two things there. One is of course a level playing. If the prevailing prices in India are similar, so it'll be a welcome move. But the other is this uncertainty and volatility, which basically starts from the MSP part of it. So there actually, if you're taking a little longer horizon of how do we want the sector to grow, because if the raw material is year on year subjected to such price uncertainties and volatilities, then of course it will have its implication across the value chain. So there another discussion that is now waking up is how to support both the industry and the farmers. Of course, the farmers need support, but are our policies encouraging higher productivity, yield, and a better price to the user industry? So this year so far it has been good. Means last few months have been good, but that's largely trickled by a lower demand, which is not the best scenario going forward. So we of course are looking at a good growth in the sector. I'm sure you would have heard that the industry has a target of doubling its production and market by 2030, which means a growth in fiber onwards. And that can only happen if there is a stability in price and availability. And for that, the pricing policies have to be reviewed.
Okay. Madhumita madam, your question.
Okay. Mr. Ganatra, you mentioned that, can you hear me? You mentioned that cotton stocks are at an all-time high since COVID. So what is the year-on-year growth in terms of this particular year?
If you see last 10 years, our growth is not there because our yields are much lower. It is around 420 to 450 kg yield we are getting per hectare, which is the lowest in the world. The average world yield is 750 kg. And if we see the country like Brazil and Australia, they are having 2000 plus kilos yield. So though we have a highest area, cultivation area of cotton crop, which is 1/3 of the world. We are growing the cotton, but our production is much lower. So our yields are not increasing. There are few reasons for the yield is not increasing. One is our 70% area is depend on the rain. So if timely rains doesn't come, we don't get yield. Number two, we are asking from the ministry for the new type of seed. So which our seed, what at present BT seeds are used for the maximum seed manufacturer is technology has come in 2002 and 3. After that, we have not received any new seed technology. So since new seeds have not given, our yields are on standstill. So we are from last 5 years, if we see our crop is in between 300 lakh to 340 lakh bales in between. So our production is not increasing. And as Chandrima ji has told, that due to higher MSP, our Indian cotton rates were 10 to 15% higher in the entire last 1 year. And that is the reason mill has turned to the importing cheaper rate cotton which is available, and that is how we have seen 100 years record has been broken, and this year we have done the highest import of 41 lakh bales in spite of having enough cotton in India. Now on 30th September we will have a 65 lakh bales of closing stock. That means 2.5 months cotton is lying in our godowns, and in spite of having that much good cotton in stock, we have to do the imports, which is very unfortunate for our country. And as Chandrima ji has said, we have to look into the certain policy by the government that why our cotton rates has been kept higher. It will not make benefit to the government also. We are spending our hard-earned foreign exchange on importing cotton, which is not necessary. We have enough cotton. We are the one of the country which is doing export from last 100 years, and this year our country has become net importer cotton country. Our things has been changed from exporting country to importing country, and our farmers are growing cotton. They are not reducing area. Only thing, they need better seed. So if the seed is given, we can grow immediately. Our crop will go from 330 lakh bales to 500 lakh bales within no time. And that will be a win-win situation if we want to increase our exports. As Chandrima ji has said, our target is to make double export by 2030. We need fiber also to be increased. Everything has to be increased. So the government has to look into this demand of new variety of seed.
Right. So what I understand is that our area under cultivation is pretty high, but our yield in cotton is very
Yes.
low, and that is why we are resorting to imports. Now, are imports increasing by the year? Year on year, are we seeing an increase in imports?
Last year, our imports was 15 lakh bales compared to this year 41 lakh bales. We have enough cotton. We have never seen there is a shortage of cotton in India. But this year, because our Indian government has done MSP and the CCI, Cotton Corporation of India, there is lapse in their sales policy. Two lapse in their sale policy. Number one, they start buying cotton from the month of October. They do the procurement from the farmers up to April, May. They buy 1 crore bales and put into the godown for stock. They don't come out with the price list to sell the cotton up to month of March or April. Now, if they stock the bales, 1 crore bales, the mills, bigger mill who has a bigger consumption, 5,000, 8,000 bales a day, where they will find a cotton. So they import the bales. So government has to, I don't think this is gone into the eye of government that this much import has been taken place this year. One side, our Prime Minister is saying that save the be a Swadeshi and save foreign exchange, whereas government itself is keeping the price of cotton 10% higher than global market. So our mills are going for import. and we are wasting our hard-earned foreign exchange. So government has to see that CCI has to be start selling immediately as soon as they start the procurement of the cotton. And number two, they have to make sure the prices of their selling is much competitive price. If we see the record of last 15 years, 10 years, Indian spinning mills got the cotton on ICE future. Now today ICE future rate is 46,000 rupees and CCI rate is 55,000 rupees. Then how the industry will survive if the government will keep the cotton price so higher? So these are the two reasons of the higher imports and higher stock. If government will not look into this and don't change the policy, I am seeing next 30th September 2026, India will have 100 lakh bales cotton stock in the godowns. We are heading towards China type of situation. Yes, please.
So what is the export scenario with regard to cotton?
Cotton export has been reduced. Since our prices are 10%, 15% higher than world market, who will buy cotton from India? Once upon a time, we were able to do 1 crore bales export. Then it come down to 50 lakh bales. It was 30 lakh bales up to 2-3 years before we were easily able to export 30-35 lakh bales because our cotton rates were near to ICE future. Now our rates are 10 to 15% higher than ICE future. How can we do the export of the cotton? And that is how even I am worried for the spinning mill also. Chandrima ji will agree with me. If our mills will buy 10, 15, 20% higher than ICE future, the international market yarn is connected with the ICE future. So mills can do export of yarn also at the ICE future rate. And our cotton rates are 15 to 20% higher than ICE future. How they will be able to do the export and earn the money? It is a very difficult situation for the spinning mill also. Yes, please.
So what is the current export volume like?
Sorry?
What is the current export volume like? Current export volume.
This year we are expecting 18 lakh bales export versus last year's 30 lakh bales exports. So our exports are down by 100%, I can say.
So that is 25-26 period.
See, because of the MSP, our prices are going to be higher, we are expecting. So we don't see any much bigger scope of doing export in the world market for the cotton. And I am worried also if the cotton rates will be higher in India, then our export of yarn also is likely to be affected.
No, what I'm asking is the period that you're considering, 25-26? The 25-26 harvest period. Year.
Abhishek ji, can you clear it, please?
She is asking that this 18 lakh bales of export you are expecting for 25-26 crop season.
No, I think export will be near about 15 lakh bales even in coming season 25-26. Until there is a MSP, we don't see our cotton price will come down to ICE future level. And until and unless we get a cotton at ICE future level, which is around today, ICE future is 46,000. And the main problem for our export is not increasing is because country like Brazil, who were nowhere in the picture for 5 years before, they were not growing cotton. But now they are started growing cotton, and this year they are having 240 lakh bales crop size, and their consumption, local consumption is only 30 lakh bales. So they have to sell 210 lakh bales, whatever is the rate in the world market. And we are not able to compete Brazil for the export. Brazilian cotton rate is 51,000 rupees, and compared to our cotton at 55,000 rupees. So our main buyers country like Bangladesh, China, Vietnam, they are now doing import of cotton mainly from the Brazil. Even USA is hurt by the Brazil. USA ICE future is from last 1 year is stable between 64 to 68 cent because there is a pressure of Brazilian cotton to sell, and Brazil is selling 4 to 6 cent lower than USA. So entire world, there is a pressure of Brazilian cotton, and they are saying within 3 years they will produce 400 lakh bales, and everything is for sale. And their farmer production cost is so low against India, they can sell cotton at 25,000 rupees, and so because their yield is 2,200 kg against our 400 kg. So very difficult time for the cotton manufacturer country and those who don't have a local consumption. Even this year, China, they are expecting 12 years highest crop. I was yesterday reading China is having 7.5 million metric ton of cotton production, which is around 460 lakh Indian size of bales. Compared to last year, they were having 360 lakh bales crop. 100 lakh bales more production in the China of the cotton. So China is the world biggest importer of the cotton. If they have their own production is higher, then who will buy cotton? There is available of cotton everywhere. There is a cotton surplus.
Okay. So follow-up question to Chandrima madam, what is her opinion on this excess surplus which is available? Don't you think the Indian textile mills will, or the yarn manufacturers will have certain degree of opportunity to leverage on this excess stock and to cater to the global yarn demand and the textile demand?
See, as I told, for the user industry, the operative thing is the rate at which they are getting it vis-a-vis what their competing spinning mills in the other countries are getting, right? Because that's how it works. So here, if you see this year also so far, as Atulji said, that in spite of a stock, the prices were 10 to 15% higher. So it'll completely depend on how the prevailing prices work. They have cooled down a bit now, and if that continues, and the price, as of course also the quality, because it depends not just on the gross price, but how much after the conversion and netting out the contamination and trash you're getting. If the net price for the cotton remains competitive because of this, I think it'll be a good opportunity. But anyway, as of now, the industry is far more concerned about what the demand scenario will be. Means for us, I think still the $1 million question is, where will this tariff situation lead to? We are still pretty optimistic because of the great complementarity that was there between India and US in the textile trade. We see all the reason to see some good news in the coming months. But otherwise, since US is a 28% of the Indian textile and apparel exports, I think the demand scenario driven by what that will be the ultimate decider of how the year will move.
So do you foresee a sharp drop in demand from the US going forward because of the tariff, of the US tariff, Trump tariff? I mean, what sort of implications do you foresee for Indian textiles because of the Trump tariff?
Sorry, the voice is a little muffled. Are you saying that what will be the impact of the tariff situation in the coming months?
On Indian textiles, the Trump tariff.
Yeah, of course. As I said, means it's a very obvious scenario. There isn't uh, too much to hope from the situation at the moment, for two reasons. One is that it is a big market. Most of the exporters, especially of textiles and of apparel and made-ups, the two top segment of the whole textile pyramid are getting impacted. Around 80% of your total textile basket of exports is from these two segments. They get impacted, the entire textile value chain gets impacted. In fact, CITI is just in the process of doing a survey. The initial results that we are getting is that the impact has not just been on the direct exporters to the US market. Of course, since mid-August, the demands have come down. but the impact is being felt across the value chain, be it the indirect the deemed exporters or the fabric suppliers. So the demand situation, of course, with some varying degree of time lag, is going to get adverse. As of now, there is still a lot of strategies being done for an interim relief, which can mean accepting a bit of the discounting, negotiating on the orders more, looking at some diversification. But all this is for the next 2-3 months. If you're looking at the next the summer orders and beyond, of course we need some more clarity on where we are moving. Otherwise, the demand situation is going to get adverse.
Then in that case, what is the scenario in terms of looking at alternate markets for India?
Yeah, we have been hearing that. See, I think some of us would take this as a great opportunity. There have been some huge markets, great markets, where we should have made huge inroads in the last 10 years. And the two prime examples of that is Japan and Korea. For the last 10 years, we have FTAs with them, but our market share has not been more than 1% there so far. Maybe this is the time we see if we can go there, but there have been reasons why we haven't moved there, and of course it will take time to align to that market. Every market has their own dynamics, especially if you're talking of apparel and made-ups, because the design, the profiling of the demand, everything is different. So the Indian exports of apparel and made-ups were extremely tuned to the US and the European markets. So to diversify, understand the supply chain, understand the market trends, will take some time. The traditional, there have been some traditional suppliers to Japan and Korea, and of course they are looking at an opportunity to move there. But for others, a complete reorientation to these kind of markets, which are very different, will take time. So we are looking at that as an opportunity, but in the medium term. In the short term, a relief, both in terms of a better negotiation uh, uh, hope that we can look at, and of course also in terms of a policy support to bridge this gap, if it is an interim issue.
You just mentioned that we've been looking at Korea and Japan for the last decade. So that is a long time to attune ourselves to that market. We still have not been able to do that.
But maybe that was also because we were very comfortable with that additional market. So that's why some of us are calling this an opportunity in all aspects, be it for the policymakers. Look at the GST rationalization. That was something everybody was trying to work around, but I think now there was a push for it, and we could all work towards it. Similarly, these require a lot of work at both sample design, supply chain development. So maybe we were very more comfortable in certain markets where we have been there for the last 4 decades or more, and had traditional buyers, traditional logistics supply, everything was in place. So yeah, there's a hard work, but there are roads which we can now look at.
Abhishek, do you have any more questions?
Just last question to both the panelists. What do they have to say? What will be the policy direction from Government of India in order to mitigate this threat of the tariff? And how do they perceive that what could be the direction of the policy from the Indian government in order to strengthen the textile as well as cotton ecosystem?
Chandrima ji, first.
We have a long list. We have been discussing. The good news is the government has been holding a lot of stakeholder consultation, commerce, Ministry of Textiles, everybody has been holding a lot of consultations, and they have been very positive to demands. The demands have been largely in 2-3 areas. One is, of course, what to do about the wage bill for the companies who are running into a lot of idle capacities, but they want to retain their employees. What to do about that? What about the working capital need? What about the extended credit period? So all these require some financial support, and so all the associations have given their request for these a clear some more clarity on what we are getting is needed. And but of course, one common request from all associations is that whatever support, let's get to know that now, because now is the time we need to make a lot of decisions. And so we are still hopeful, we are waiting. The Ministry of Textiles and other ministries have said that they are with the industry and they are looking at some packages. We are looking at a export promotion package also that was announced in the budget to roll out, but let's see.
Re- Yeah. You see, from Cotton Association of India, we were having mainly three demands from the government. Number one was to remove the 11% duty on the cotton. That has been tentatively removed and the relief has been given up to 31st December. And we believe the lots of mills, big mills, those who want to buy imported cotton, this is a 4 months window with them, and they will buy the cotton, whatever they need for the 2026 consumption. So we are expecting around 20 to 30 lakh bales imports will come during this duty-free period in October to December. So that one demand was fulfilled. Second demand was there that CCI prices were very high compared to global prices. And due to that, spinning mills were suffering very badly. And that also CCI has given some relief in the price around 2,600 rupees. They have reduced the price 5%. Still, their prices are much higher for the sale. But anyhow, certain price were reduced by the government of CCI. So second demand was half fulfilled, we can say. Third demand we were having for the spinning mills, not for our trade, that incentives to be given those who are hit by the USA tariff. So if the incentive of 15-20% given, then our exporter can still survive and do some exports. Otherwise, the USA buyers are asking 28, 30, 35% discount, which is not possible to give by the Indian sellers, because that much margin is not there. Then export will affect and it will slow down our entire industry value chain. So these were our three demands. Now we have to see next year what will be their government policy of the sale. Our demands with the government is CCI has to sell the cotton at not only global price, they have to see the quality, what is their quality and what is the imported rate, why mills are doing import. Not only there is a price difference of 10% between Indian cotton and imported cotton is 10% cheaper rate. But there are many other issues. Our Indian cotton is having a very high contamination. So mills are facing problem to spin the cotton and sell into the market. Then number two, trace is very high. So quality also is been deteriorating year by year by the Indian ginners, because earlier they have to make the quality, only then the cotton will be sold. Now they are doing job work for the CCI. They are not bothered what quality it is they have to make. So because they don't have to sell, CCI has to sell the cotton. So the quality of Indian cotton is further deteriorated in last 2 years. If CCI will not try and improve their quality, we will see more and more import coming to India, because big mills, they can buy cotton on advance payment and they are getting 4 to 5% higher realization in imported cotton than Indian cotton. Plus their yarn sale, their cloth sale of contamination free cotton is they are getting a better price in the international market. So if we will not improve the quality, CCI will not look into this, we may see much, much higher imports in the coming years in India. And that will be not good news for our Indian farmers who are growing cotton. Yes, please.
Abhishek, if you don't have any more questions, we will close the webinar because we are already running out of time. We are behind schedule actually. So that's all that we can accommodate. The topic that we discussed was India's textile industry, GST impact, and the harvest season outlook. Now the discussion was absolutely absorbing, and frankly speaking, I didn't really feel time passing by. And I do hope the audience found it informative too. And it was a pity that we didn't get any questions from the audience. They were expecting some questions from our viewers, but that did not happen this time. But anyway, if you do have any questions, do send them directly to us. We'll get it answered. We will definitely respond to them. And warm thank you to Ms Chandrima Chatterjee, Secretary General, Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, and to Mr Atul Ganatra, President of the Cotton Association of India, for giving us your valuable time. And to my colleague Abhishek Govilkar, who heads the agribusiness at BigMint. I'm Madhumita Mookerji, Consultant Director, Investor Relations at BigMint, taking a lead till the next BigMint webinar. See you till then. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.